How's it going, everybody? David Hedge here, House Hedge Gaming. And while I'm still trying to get everything organized and recoup from Gen Con, there is one thing I wanted to make sure I do, and that was to do a recap of what happened at SummerSlam 2025, the same weekend as Gen Con. So I'm going to do this in less than 10 minutes. So it's going to be a quick rundown of both nights. Hopefully, I can do it within 10 minutes. If not, I do apologize because sometimes I can get a little bit winded, but we'll see what happens. But without any further ado, let's check out what happened at the second biggest party of the summer, next to Gen Con 2025, in SummerSlam. All right, here we go. Night one, we had Roman Reigns and Jey Uso against the Braun Breaker, and Bronson Reed. Bronson Reed still adding to his shoe collection from Roman Reigns, but unfortunately for him on this night, it was not to be, as Jey Uso was able to get the pin and give Roman Reigns and Jey Uso, the OG Bloodline, the win in the opening match at night one. Next up, we had Charlotte Flair and Alexa Bliss winning against Raquel Rodriguez and Roxanne Perez to win the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. Now, this match was really good, showed the frenemy dynamic between Alexa and Charlotte, and we thought we were going to have them turn on each other, but Charlotte get the big boot on Raquel, while Alexa Bliss was able to hit the sister Abigail on Roxanne. 1, 2, 3. We have new Women's Tag Team Champions. Next, Sami Zayn against Karrion Kross, where Sami Zayn was able to win against Karrion Kross, showing that he might have that edge he needs to win the WWE Championship or the World Heavyweight Championship at some point down the line. But this was also the last match for Karrion Kross and Scarlett, supposedly in WWE. Only time will tell to see what happens with that. Next, we had Tiffany Stratton defeat Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Championship. This match, a little bit clunky. It is showing where Jade Cargill works great with some, but unfortunately, she's still learning a lot to where she can't just work with everybody and have a good match. Tiffany Stratton's a great athlete. Jade Cargill's a great athlete. But at this night, they didn't really have the chemistry, and the fans weren't really behind Jade Cargill. Hopefully, they can do something where Jade Cargill basically turns to a monster at some point in the best way. Just have her tear through people. She has the look. She has the build. Let her just do power moves and beat the holy crap out of people. Just have her snap at some point down the line. Next up, we had Logan Paul and Drew McIntyre defeat Randy Orton and Jelly Roll when Jelly Roll took the pin in the match. Even though Jelly Roll had a great outing in this, he was able to hit the clotheslines, choke slam. He was able to hit the boss man slam, which was my former finishing maneuver. So sharing that kind of maneuver with Abyss, Big Boss Man, and Jelly Roll, hey, I like it. But it was a good match. Jelly Roll did his part tremendously. Randy Orton, Drew McIntyre, Logan Paul all did very well. It was an entertaining tag match, but I think the right outcome happened where Drew McIntyre and Logan Paul was able to get the win, especially what we found out later on where Drew McIntyre is now going after Cody Rhodes for the World Heavyweight Championship. Spoiler alert if you haven't seen that yet. Finally, we had on night one the main event, Gunther defending the World Heavyweight Championship against CM Punk. Now, this match, they beat the holy heck out of each other. They really did. But there was still like a little bit lack of chemistry, but we ended up having, after a GTS, CM Punk was able to win the match, win the championship for all of 2 minutes. And then Seth Rollins' music hits. He comes out on the crutches, making it look like I'm coming for you next. But that next was right now, as Seth Rollins was able to show that he was not injured. He was able to shed the crutches, went out there, beat the holy heck out of CM Punk with a briefcase. I think it was like 12 or 13 shots, cashed in, was able to get the win, and now Seth Rollins is the new World Heavyweight Champion. And we'll see what happens, because now in Clash in Paris, it will be Punk, LA Knight, and Jey Uso going after Rollins for the championship in a fatal four-way in just a couple weeks' time. All right, next up, let's go to night two. Night two, we had Naomi defend against Io Sky and Rhea Ripley. This match was a fine three-way dance. It was a fine triple threat. Unfortunately, it did not go as high up as the triple threat we had at WrestleMania, but it was still really entertaining, and it still told the story that Rhea could not pin Io Sky. She was able to hit the second rope riptide on Io, and before she was able to get the pin, Naomi came in, rolled her up, grabbed the tights, 1, 2, 3. Naomi once again retained the belt, showing that she will do everything she can to hold on to that belt for as long as possible. Next, the Wyatt Six were able to retain in the TLC match that was a literal car crash in the best of ways. You had the Wyatt Six, you had Fraxium, you had DIY, you had the Street Profits, you had Andrade and Rey Fenix, and you had the Motor City Machine Guns. 12 individuals that put their bodies on line in one of the most bonkers TLC matches I have seen in a long time, and I mean that in the best of way. Candice LeRae took the biggest bump of the night. She went through a ladder. Her leg was all bruised up. All these men and women put their lives on the line for this match, and they wanted to show, hey, we should have had this at WrestleMania, but having it at SummerSlam, we're going to show you that we belong on the card. And to me, they definitely did. The Wyatt Six were able to retain because the numbers game, even though it was technically 5 to 11, 12, but the Wyatts are the Wyatts. They were able to get the win and retain the tag team championships. Next up, Becky Lynch was defending the women's IC title against Lyra Valkyria, to where if Lyra Valkyria lost, she could not challenge anymore for the IC championship while Becky Lynch is champion. During the match, they beat the crap out of each other, but Lyra broke free somehow of the wrist restraints, but then she slipped back in, and I thought there was going to be a part of the thing where she was just going to break free and catch Becky off guard, but she didn't. It was a little weird. It was a little odd. But outside of that, they beat the crap out of each other. Bayley came in, tried to help out Lyra, but unfortunately it backfired, and Lyra lost to Becky Lynch, and now she can no longer go after the IC championship. But this has also sparked something in Bayley where she might be going a little bit on the dark side later on, because Lyra basically went, look, I don't need you. You need to figure out your own stuff, da-da-da-da-da. But now Becky is reigning as the IC champion. Bayley might be going a little bit crazy, and who knows what Lyra is going to do. Some point, she's going to end up having to deal with Bayley, and I don't think it's going to turn out well for her. Next, we had Solo Sikoa in the cage match for the United States Championship against Jacob Fatu. The numbers game once again was able to get on Solo Sikoa's side. Even though Jacob Fatu, great athlete, the cage match is supposed to keep people on the outside and supposed to have it to where it's an even fight one-on-one. But in this case, cage matches are not doing that anymore. And Solo was able to win, but Jacob Fatu was still able to do a moonsault from the top of the cage, thanks to help with Jimmy Uso, and people were able to go home happy on that. But Solo Sikoa still retained as the United States champion. Next, AJ Styles and Dominic Mysterio were able to have a really good match for the IC title. AJ Styles doing a tribute to Eddie Guerrero with the taped fists, with the low rider, with the gear that he wore, and Dominic Mysterio celebrating his 20th year in WWE since his custody was put up in a ladder match between Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero. But in the end, after multiple Eddie Guerrero shenanigans that happened, including who hit who with a chair and a boot coming off a la Guerrero and Angle, we had Dominic Mysterio retained by underhanded means once again against AJ Styles, and now we get to see what Dominic Mysterio is able to do as he's starting to build more and more confidence while he is the IC champion. Finally, in the main event, we had John Cena and Cody Rhodes for the undisputed WWE Championship, and this is the match we should have had at WrestleMania. These two had a tremendous street fight that we saw everything from a code red outside from John Cena. We saw multiple AAs, multiple crossroads. We saw the ring getting tore up. It was a great match, and Cody Rhodes was able to win the match, was able to beat John Cena after over 20 plus minutes of them beating the living daylights out of each other. I really wish this would have been the WrestleMania match. We could have had this follow up at SummerSlam, but you know what? Because of everything that happened with the heel turn with John Cena not going on according to plan, because of The Rock not following up with it, Travis Scott not being the person that they thought he was going to be while he was training, it definitely left a lot to be desired. But you know what? We got this match. I'm really glad we had it. And Cody Rhodes and John Cena sharing a moment. And then John Cena looking around, and he was like, man, this is the last time I'm going to be here at SummerSlam. And then the music hit for Brock Lesnar to come out there and be able to wreck John Cena pretty much, get him with the F5, and now it's setting up for John Cena going up against Brock Lesnar, which they've had some classic bouts in the past. Maybe they'll have another good one coming up at the undisclosed PLE, coming up in Indianapolis, Indiana on September 20th, the exact same day as WWE goes up against AEW's All Out. Okay, I think I did the review in under 10 minutes. I apologize if that was really fast, but I wanted to do a review, but I didn't want to go full detail because I know this is better late than ever. But all in all, I think night 2 was a whole lot better than night 1. Night 1, I love it that CM Punk was able to get the championship, but I really was disappointed that I was right that Seth Rollins, the whole injury with him was a work. I really wish that would have been a shoot thing to where Rollins could have actually cashed in, say around the Royal Rumble, and then they would have met at WrestleMania, kept those embers glowing, if you will, going into WrestleMania. But we didn't get that, so now we get to see what Punk and Seth Rollins does between now and WrestleMania, because I think that's where they're going to end up going for that championship. As far as John Cena and Brock Lesnar, I know they're going to have a really good match. I just don't think it's a time for Brock Lesnar to come back yet with everything going on with the legal battles that he was brought up in, supposedly, and now with that case still going on, if further stuff is revealed that Brock Lesnar was involved, I don't think it's going to look well in WWE at this point in time. But you know what? WWE just wanted to have that big reaction, and I understand it, but only time will tell to see what happens with that. But all in all, I think that the match of the night for me, I think it was between John Cena and Cody Rhodes and the TLC match. Both of them, in their own rights, were tremendous car crashes. One with a lot more tables, ladders, and chairs. The other one was just a great way of John Cena showing, look, I could still do it. And I'm still going to be able to do it until December. And I thought this was a great way to bring him back as a babyface, 100% face, no more heel turn. I think that had to be, even though the heel turn was great, I think that they could have done so much more with it if The Rock would have followed through, if Travis Scott would have followed through, if they would have had John Cena be that heel leading up to his final days in December and have some big baby face, some new face come in and beat him for the championship. Now we just get to see how this roller coaster is going to go with John Cena between now and December. We'll see what happens. I think it was a really good weekend for wrestling. And hopefully actually I won't be able to watch it live next year because I'll still be at Gen Con. They've been doing it to where like SummerSlam and Gen Con coincide with each other. So I'll be doing this again next time where I'll be doing the review a little bit later on after Gen Con. But you know what? I still want to get it done, and I still want to keep that streak going. Try to hit 4 of the big 5 this year, but I'll hit the big 5 next year. So we'll see what happens. But thank you all so much for checking out this video. If you like it, please like, share, comment, and subscribe, and let everyone know that House Hedge Gaming is here for all of your gaming needs and wrestling needs as we get ready to go through a lot of stuff we picked up at Gen Con and see what lies in store for the world of gaming, the world of wrestling, and just the world in general and pop culture and everything. And hopefully you'll be joining us for all that. But thank you all so much. And until next time, stay safe and take care, my friends.